Alright guys, so let me go ahead and show y'all how I rewrap the stator. So if you have a power drill, that will work. I've seen people do it by hand, and honestly, I think that's a bit too much that many times. But bigger bikes, you're gonna need a machine, you're gonna need a power drill, something to help you with those turns, because it is frustrating. It is a lot of turns, and it'll make your life hell. So guys, of course, this is the source coil. This source coil turns on the lights of the bike, and that's why I went ahead and did away with the wiring for the headlights and the rear lights on the bike, because as y'all can see, one of the wires snapped on it, and I wasn't going to have any more headlights or rear lights, so I just went ahead and deleted the whole system from the harness just so I could get the bike running. And later on, I'll buy a harness and reconnect all the lighting to it, but for now, it's just running straight to the coil, to the stator, to the spark plug. So what I did was I grabbed some sturdy metal wire. I ran it through the corner of the stator where you bolt it in. I've seen people use bolts and nuts, you know, that could lock in with their drill. I've seen, of course, machine shops that actually have the stuff that just holds it straight and perfect. The brackets that hold it straight and perfect, that connects perfectly up to a drill or a machine. But in this case, if you don't have none of that, a drill will work. A drill will work, and some custom modifications to getting this to, first of all, you want to get this to be straight, and you want to make sure it stays straight and doesn't wobble and move on you as it spins. So you're going to want to make sure this stays as tight and as straight as you can. You may have to run an additional something to hold it down on this side, but this is how I did it, and my bike's running. So I mean, if I could sit here and say it didn't work, it did work. I went ahead, I clamped these wire pieces down. I use a different piece of wire too. This is an example. So I ran the wire through and I clamped it down to where I could stick it in the drill and tighten it. So after that, and to be honest, it held pretty tight. It held pretty straight and tight like that. I did have moments where it did move like that. All you gotta do is make sure it doesn't overlap one of these plastic corners, because if it comes out a little sideways, that's fine. I had a few rows come out sideways, but I eventually straightened it up as I went. So most likely, let's say you have a drill. You got this connected to your drill somehow, some way. Exactly how I said it, somehow, some way. Whatever works for you. You got your drill's gonna be holding it like this. You're gonna get your wire at $10, $11 in Walmart. Get your wire. This is enamel wire. So remember, if it's enamel wire, here's what you're going to do. Burn the enamel off. And what you're going to do, wrap it around. See, these don't have prongs like the ignition coil stator does. You're going to wrap it around the prong as much as you can. The top corner prong up here, you're going to wrap it around there, and then you're going to want to run it down like I've showed in my prior video. This will most likely be on the floor. You're going to have this already probably wrapped around a few times, and your end to your drill is going to be connected, and you're going to be holding your drill like this. You're going to be holding your drill like this as this is being held. You're going to use your hand to keep tension and to keep it steady as you go. So as it starts turning with the drill to wrap, you're going to run it back and forth, back and forth. Like I said, sometimes it may go a little crooked on you, that's fine. As long as you don't jump these plastic corners. Back and forth until you feel your stator all the way up, corner to corner. Now remember, this is a source coil for the like accessory stator right here. So this ain't gonna work for the ignition, the spark on the ignitions. This is totally different wiring over here. You're gonna keep going and hold it and just keep wrapping it till you basically fill up the top of the stator with your wire. And guys, that's all I did. Now it did take me 3 attempts, third time being a charm. The first 2 times I didn't add enough wire on the stator like I was supposed to. I didn't add enough wire. So the next time I did it, I added a little more wire. I got a bit more ohms at my voltage. and it still didn't start. So at that point, I figured that I didn't have enough wire the third time. And the third time was a charm because I must have filled it up just perfect to where I was reading about 125 to about 150 ohms cold. You know, if you ain't got the money, you ain't got the funds, you have limited resources, but you got an old school bike that ain't starting. There's a lot of stuff you could do without machines, unless you're reboring the head or something, but that's about how I did it with the Stator. I used a drill, sat there, went, and I held it with my hand as the wire set on the floor. There's a few times I had to go back and unwrap the plastic corner because it lapped it, but it worked, and my bike is ready to go. I don't know if y'all can see how much wire I got on there. Of course, I had to wrap it over to keep it tight, but went ahead, I spliced the wiring myself, resoldered everything, grounded the black and white, resoldered the yellow and red, and ran it all the way up here into the ignition coil straight without the additional headlight wiring or rear wiring, only because I didn't need nothing shorted on my bike. So one of the main crucial things y'all need to just worry about when rewrapping your Stator is try to take a picture. Because a visual example is better than no example at all. Try to take a picture of your coil and try to wrap it to the exact same dimension that you could visibly see. If you have a tape measure, whatever, because you won't be able to get a reading on it unless you cut the wire from the coil itself, and then at that point you can only hope that you added enough wire to it, because if not, it won't start. I've seen people get very frustrated, ask a lot of questions. You know, maybe it's something different, maybe it's, you know, this, that, this. I parked this bike when I was 12. This was my bike as a kid. It was officially parked at 12 before I upgraded to a bigger bike. And the reason why it was parked was because I lost spark when I was riding it over 20 years ago. I lost spark and I could never regain it. And being a kid, I could never really wrap my head around how to take off the flywheel, to rewire the Stator coil. So after I get the tube for it, I'm gonna go ahead and this Friday and put it on the bike. I'm gonna go ahead and top off the transmission oil as well. I went ahead and, the oil don't look bad. It's filled up still too. It's been sealed off for years. So, I know oil could expire and oil could separate from all the natural chemicals in there, all the natural gases and chemicals in there. But if I could get this bike running before the complete rebuild, that's what I plan on doing. Another question too. If any one of y'all are happening to sell your vintage bike, 70s, 80s, 90s model, doesn't matter, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, please leave a comment below. Maybe we can negotiate, and I would have to travel to go pick it up, but negotiate and see if we can't make a deal and I can't buy a future project that y'all see me go ahead and get running. If it requires a complete motor rebuild, I'd have to do that. If it requires, excessive work to it, just throw me a good deal. Don't poke my eyes out. If it has a broken frame, let me know. Got the broken frame. Anything and everything could be fixed. Yes, welding a broken frame ain't the best solution, but that's why they make clamps too, frame clamps. Put some frame clamps on there and then weld it. Got double the security. Anything that y'all have, y'all let me know. Post in the comments and see if I'm interested, and see if we can't cut a deal for it, and see if it ain't running, if I can't get it running. All right, y'all. Thank y'all very much, and catch y'all next time.